Yo, what's up, guys? It's Savjz here on YouTube again. I'm doing these YouTube specials for you guys. I'm trying to kind of like step up my content here a little bit. This is my fourth video on this series. Really giving you guys like all the like in-depth dives in behind some of the coolest decks that I think are available in Standard that can win you lots of games in Legend. So today we're gonna take a look at deck that is Celestial Druid, and like just like kind of some of the other decks, it's not exactly new. We are pretty deep into the expansion, but I never really like took a closer look at it. So in the latest patch, there were a couple of things that affected Celestial Druid, and those things were one, Warrior is gone. So Warrior used to be a good matchup, so you would think that would hurt Druid. But I found after playing that the deck actually does pretty fine. Like, it's not too bad at all, because there's been some hits to Demon Hunter as well, some of the aggro decks. And just the sheer strength of like the big cards in the deck and the ramp and Wildheart Goth, like it's very much still alive and playable. So we don't need Warriors to be effective. The other change is Earthen Scales to 2 mana. And Earthen Scales also, like, it's still like just fine. It only really matters against aggressive strategies, because sometimes what you did was, when you had 8 mana, you played Miracle Growth and then innervated out an Earthen Scales for 1 mana. Like an Earthen Scales that you drew from the Miracle Growth, or the Miracle Growth drew you an innervate. So that's not a thing anymore. But so far, like, the card still seems very, very good, and like the nerf that they did seem warranted for sure. Let's take a look at like one by one some of the cards and some of my like personal choices here. So Aquatic Form, absolutely 2 off. It is core. You want to play these cards. You keep it in the starting hand as well. Every time you keep at least 1. If you have 2 copies in the starting hand, I think you still honestly keep. And then if you need a 3 mana card like Wild Growth on 3, what I usually do with Aquatic Form is, if I don't have a Wild Growth on 3, I use it at 3 mana. And at 5 mana, if I don't have Nourish or Goth, I use it at 5 mana. And then, like, if I'm not going for those, I usually just kind of like wait out until I have lots of mana and lots of options available. There are special instances, of course, where you like need something specific or you die or blah blah blah. At 7 or 8, you can also just use it like anytime if you just want to have more plays. Druid of the Reef. Druid of the Reef is not a must-have, but I found that it's like pretty good. It's like almost like works as a smite in a way. 1 mana, deal 3 damage. You can also taunt it sometimes. Can be useful against some like big weapons or so things like that. Some players even play 2 copies. An alternative for this one would be the Kelp Keeper. That would be totally fine to have. If you want to play Kelp Keeper instead of Druid of the Reef, that is okay. Like, that is absolutely a viable decision. Amalgam of the Deep. We have it, of course, it's for the dragons. So the way we have the dragons set up, 1, 2, 3, 3, 4. So we have like 4 dragons and Kazakusan. But if something else than Kaz gets eaten, with the Discover on a dragon, you still have enough to play it. So if one card gets eaten, if Dragon gets eaten, you're fine. If Kazakusan gets eaten, that's bad, because then the only way is to discover a new one. Sometimes if you have two dragons eaten, you might get a Ysera. That, like, it's worth remembering. Ysera has an extra 4 mana dragon, so you can try to like get the dragon still done. Another thing that's good to remember is that you can use the Amalgam of the Deep with Scale of Onyxia. Those are dragons, so if you have 9 mana, you do Scale, you can get your Discover dragon in with the Scale. You don't have to wait for like Malygos to stay alive for a turn or something like that. Earthen Scales, still core, you still play 2. Cherry Rick is just mostly to like help out with the Nourish. It's also helpful to like split the Nourish in 2, so you have both the draw and mana. But it really, like, because Nourish is such a key card in the deck, so Cherry Rick is fantastic. There are no other choose 1 cards in the deck, and you want to keep it that way. You don't want to add any other choose 1s, because you want to guarantee the Nourish draw. It's just the best card. So yeah, Cherry Rick is fantastic. Also keep in the starting hand every time. Moonlit Guidance, sometimes okay to keep in the starting hand. Absolutely must have 2 copies of this. Another card that helps you maneuver sometimes against like Mutanus. Like, if your dragon gets eaten, or if a warlock, like, let's say warlock altars your one of your dragons, you can Moonlight Guidance an extra copy of a dragon. And in particular, like, if you're a little like scared of your opponent eating in the future, like if they in the future they might eat your Ghast, and your slower matchup, let's say you're against control Shaman or something like that, your control deck that you know runs Mutanus, you might, even on early turns, you might choose to pick an extra Kazakusan instead of like instead of like something else that you need in the moment, just like thinking long term. But anyway, fantastic card. Keep in mind the second portion of the card. So if you play the card that you drew, you got from it, you also draw the extra copy. So that sometimes you might end up like moonlighting into an innervate, and then it might be beneficial to use the innervate immediately to draw the original, so you can draw other cards later. Smothering Starfish, I like one right now. I don't know if this is a must-have really, but it's a pretty nice card to have. There's a bunch of things, since the Druid board clears are pretty bad, you really need this against, let's say, like Naga Priest and decks that have like buffed minions early. It's not exactly a board clear, but it's very helpful to like slow down your opponent when they play minions with abilities early. It can also like sometimes you can like clear your opponent's taunts, or if your own dragons are frozen against Shaman, you can like unfreeze your dragons and kill them. So yeah, pretty nice card. Wild Growth, must have 2 of these. Try to play it on turn 3. Try to aquatic form on turn 3. Kazakus. So this is a deck card that I've just like, I put in, and I don't know if anyone else plays it. I just noticed that there's nothing else at 4 mana. So we might as well do this, and you don't always have like a Norwich for 5, so you can like, especially on coin or with innervate, sometimes you can innervate a Wild Growth on turn 2, or you can coin a Wild Growth on turn 2, and then on turn 3 when you have 4 mana, like you can curve out with Kazakus instead of like just going Wild Growth into Norwich. And another thing to keep in mind, since we're playing Celestial Alignment, which obviously like is the key card of the deck, resetting the mana crystals, you can pick a 10 mana Golem from the Kazakus. It's super fun, by the way. So you pick a 10 mana Golem from the Kazakus. You can get like Poison, deal 3, or you can get like Stealth, make a copy, and yeah, it's just really fun. So I've been really enjoying this card. Sometimes you get Lifesteal as well if you're playing against aggro. Get like a Lifesteal 5-drop, maybe Lifesteal make a copy, or Lifesteal deal 3 AoE. Both good choices. Norris obviously game. I don't need to really talk about it. Sometimes you want to hold it. I want to mention about Norris that sometimes you want to hold it for after the alignment. If you're doing a turn 8 alignment, in some matchups you do. In other matchups you don't need to even play the alignment, or you play it after Kazakusan. But yeah, so alignment, and then of course like Norris to get 2 mana crystals. So it is a decision to make. Usually on 5 you go for the ramp, but if you get it on later turns with an alignment, you might want an alignment first and then do the mana. Lady Anaconda, yeah, mostly for like after the alignment, so that's the combo, right? Either at 14 mana you go alignment, you play Lady Anaconda first and then alignment, and then then you can play your stuff for free and keep going. So that is the combo at 14 mana. Or alternatively, you can sometimes, depending on the matchup, you can go, if you're playing like a faster deck, for example, with like lots of cheap cards and like aggressive strategies, you might want to do this on 8, and then follow it up to play the 1 mana Anaconda, and then go for the 0 mana growth and stuff. So, but the key thing with Anaconda is that you play it on the turn after alignment, or you play it with it on the turn with alignment. Scale of Onyxia, key card, absolutely fantastic. Probably needs a nerf to 8 mana, but you need to play 2 of these. It's your only board clear. In some matchups, if you already have ramp, you might consider keeping this. If you, let's say you have a Wild Growth and an Innervate or like something like that, and you know you're against a board-based deck, it's a 7 mana card, but it's just that damn strong. So you might want to consider, but you need to know what you're doing. If you don't have any ramp, do not keep it. Do not keep it if you don't have any ramp. This is a very special situation, but I wanted to give a shout out to that though. Kazakus, that's our win condition, unless we can just overwhelm the opponent. Yeah, you play dragons. One noteworthy thing about this is that you always, this is not, I've seen players not do it, but in my view, you always want to keep 1 alignment for after Kazakus. It's very rare, like you must be like guaranteed to die or something to play both alignments before Kazakusan, but getting those like Embers and everything, if you hit Ember with Kazakusan, it's just so good to make it 1 mana, like that wins the game. So I would strongly recommend you to keep 1 alignment for after Kazakusan. Miracle Growth, draw 3 cards, not much to say about it. Solid card with Lady Anaconda after alignment. Alignment Lady Anaconda, obviously fantastic, helps you get your combos together. Great card, often the target for the Earthen Scales, not always, but often it is. Alexstrasza, the Lifebinder. Yeah, an extra dragon, extra heal, extra damage. Pretty solid, pretty solid. We have the with the druid you can play this because you have the ramp and stuff, so you don't actually pay the 9 mana for it oftentimes. We need some dragons, and it's a strong dragon. Very good after alignment as well. Malygos, draw spells until your hand is full. Yeah, this is how we can allow ourselves to like kind of like waste our cards on the ramp and all that stuff. You don't need to get max value and all the combos, and sometimes even good after the after Kazakusan if you want to draw your deck. It's just good. I don't know if there's too much to say about Malu. One thing that I might want to mention is that like before you play Malu, you probably want to like plan it out a little bit. Like if you let's say you're halfway through the game, you before you play it, you probably want to like take a look at like what are you gonna get from it. Because if sometimes you have, let's say you're gonna draw 6 spells and you have 8 spells in your deck, so you can kind of like, oh like. This is always going to give me like blah blah blah, or my chances are very good to get this, and like, so to plan it out, think about what are you going to get from it, like before you play it, and then based on that, like it might alter your decision. Lockholder, good against more aggressive strategies. You can sometimes play it for 5 mana. The main use for this though is that what you do is this is what allows you to play against the Demon Hunter. This lets you do the alignment on turn 8. Like, they have a board, you're down to 15 or lower, you might be at 10 health. You go for alignment, and then remember, Lockholder is 1 mana card at that point, and it costs 5 less, so you can play it for free. You can play a 0 mana Lockholder with Wind Fury Rush. You kill 2 of their best units there. You do 2 of their best minions, and that's it. Raid Boss on Uxia, Whelps, handle it. Super strong card, absolute bomb. Yeah, that's pretty much it. The alignments, like, really, like, you don't always play them, and you need to be smart about the alignments. The deck isn't just, like, get to 8 mana, play alignment blindly. That's, like, probably the most important point about it. So, some of the cards that are not in the deck, that you could play if you wanted to play, like the Mana Saber, yeah, that's one of the options. Like, some players prefer the Mana Saber. I haven't really, like, I've adapted my playstyle to not use this, but... So, you could play Mana Saber before the alignment, and then you play alignment on 8, and then you attack with Mana Saber, and you can like kick off your combo immediately. So that's kind of nice, but I haven't really like, I think it's a little clunky, and I actually have a playstyle which, personally, which like, I hold the alignments. I don't try to do the alignment that much, but if your playstyle is to like, just alignment quickly, like, then that might fit better. It's also a little bit like meta dependent. Another card that's oftentimes good is the Spammy Arcanist. With the Spammy Arcanist, you can get that board clear that Druid needs so desperately. But I am not currently playing this because I found it that it's like a little bit difficult at times to like set it up perfectly as a Druid, because you don't really have like, if the board isn't set up in a way where it kills everything, it can be very hard to set it up. Like, you might need like 7 mana and hero power, that might still not do it. So it's just a little clunky because you can't quite like set it up in the same way as some other decks maybe. Those are probably like the most notable ones. Like, you play 2 Druid of the Reefs if you know him, Kazakusan, and yeah. All right, Warlock. I'm gonna keep the Norris because Warlock is a little bit on the slow side. Not too worried about like being too slow because I kept the Norris. If my opponent was playing like a fast class, then Norris is maybe too creative. But here, I believe it is completely fine. Man, Kazaku's Golem Saber is so much fun, and I think it's worth playing too. It's like, I know many don't play it, but it's not here just for memes. I promise. I promise it's not just for memes. Like, when you get like the 10 mana guy with +4/+4 buff as well, like, it's just incredibly powerful. Okay, well, definitely this, and I'm not expecting necessarily to draw it. If we get lucky, we hit an Innervate, but either way we are casting this, because then we will draw the aquatic form. Well, that actually does, because we were drawing this anyway, so it is going to be the Guff. The choice is very easy. Let's put the Guff on top. If I choose the aquatic form, we also draw the aquatic form. Thank you, Su, for the sub. Wait, but it might be gone now. Well, I guess there's a Malygos Spellweaver, and then there might be an aquatic form, or there might not be. There was still, okay. I I wanted to see, because like the new card that's showing up could have been like a wild growth. So that's why I did this, if you're wondering. Gave me like an extra chance. Alright, a bit of a slow start right now. Bit of a slow start, but it's gonna ramp up. See what I did there? It's a ramp deck. Okay, I'll show myself out. Alright, anyway. So I like doing this one first in situations where you cannot Goth hero power immediately. If I had it like an additional inner weight, I would have done the Goth and then hero power with the Goth. But if you have exactly 5 mana available, it is better to get 2 crystals and not 1. If I could get 2 crystals with Goof as well, I would do the Goof first. Goof. So cool. Okay, so we do have a bit of a decision here. So the Whelps are very good, but the hero card is also good. If I'm not worried, no, I don't know. Oh, it's close. It's actually pretty close. But I don't think I want to take the 9 damage, so I am gonna go for the Whelps. I think 9 damage still matters. So we're gonna go for the Whelps here. I am missing kind of like 1 mana crystal, because like when I play the Goth, I'll still get that one, but I'm missing the extra from that. Goth first. That's arguable. Like I feel like if I take that extra 9, I'm gonna go to like dangerously low. And my ramp is still doing pretty good. Like we're still at a healthy 2 crystal lead, and after this we'll be at 4. So I think Goth there would have been kind of scuffed. All right. Here we go. So no, we didn't get stealth this time. Probably Divine Shield. I'm gonna do Divine Shield and try to get a copy. I don't need a life steal. So I'm gonna copy. This is a house, chat. That's it's pretty scary. I'll try to like bait out the Colossal with the Onyxia first though. Then like after that this will have like a free reign, I think. Could have ramped more, missed Norris. If I do Norris first. I wasn't sure if I wanted to do the Norris. Because if I'm gonna Celestial, like we might need that. You can shoot the Colossal with Alex. Oh, that's true, I could. It's a good point, actually. That's a good point. Well, that's a good idea. Well spotted there, my friend. Usually it's not possible at all, but in this instance it would be. I'm still gonna go for the raid boss first. Get the crystal. Oh, what a card! This is so amazing. 20 power and like with Rush. Hey, like I think they should nerf this honestly. They should make the Whelps like 1 once or something. It's like it's so hard to make other 10 mana cards. Like Neptulon is a fine card, but like it's not getting played because this is just better because it's so much better. Make it 11 mana. Well, that's yeah. There's some problems with that. There's definitely some problems with the 11 mana solution. Alright, chat. So we are gonna do this. So because of the Onyxia thing. I guess he could technically like sacrifice that. Either way though, I'm going for this. Let's go. Woo! It's me, but with Divine Shield. So the 6 mana card doesn't like, it wouldn't even deal enough damage. It needs to be the Colossal. But then he also needs to like sacrifice the main. Oh, these won't get the Battle Cry. But I mean, it's still very good. Like, this game could just be over here if he doesn't have the Colossal. They don't play Twisting Nether right now. Man, these are some badass dudes. I'm gonna F5 you out of the chat if you keep spamming that. Silence, that doesn't even do it. What does Control F5 do? Refreshes the chat. Oh man. Chat, we got there. Alright. You know, you don't sometimes even need the like alignment. Even though the deck is an alignment deck, it's mostly like, it's not necessarily alignment deck because alignment is what you have to do. Like, oh, you have to go to 1 mana. Like, the Mana Saber version maybe is. Oh my god. Oh, not Hunter. Getting bad matchups now.
Beware the turning tides.
Okay. Well, I have the aquatic. Oh, okay. It's gonna be really good. Bard certified next to the bits. Surprised to see you try alignment. Yeah, I want to see where it's at. Like, how is it doing now? Okay, it is a rogue. That is not a hunter. Check spot. Okay. So aquatic form now. How many bad outcomes? Because we need to get it to hand. If I got an innervate, that would have to be the last innervate or something. I think that's a bad idea right now. I'm gonna hold it. I'm gonna hold it to try to get like whelps later. Oh, it could be a bomb rogue. No, wait, no. Jackpot means no bomb, right? It's not bomb. It's jackpot, right? So that makes it pretty scary to use the alignment because he has some expensive spells in the hand. Why not Wild Heart? Because we would only get 1 mana crystal. I've mentioned it many times that like, if I have an option to do both, I usually, if I cannot hero bar with Goth, I go for Norris first. This worked out way better, in my opinion. I just like it better this way. I think it's better like this. Okay, but we are actually doing pretty well, I would say. I got some big ramp there, and he didn't put. Oh, that's a good sign. That's a good sign. That means the turn is gonna be bad. This is very good for us now. He didn't have anything too ridiculous there. Would it still be better just get 1 more hero bar ramp on the next turn? I don't have time to discuss that right now. I think it's better like this, but maybe I'm not. It's too much of a discussion right now. But what I'm used to doing is that if I can hero bar, I always guff. I always guff if I can hero bar. Always guff if you can hero bar over the Norwich. Unless you like need to play something for 2. Because you don't get an extra ramp, like, that's the point. Okay, very interesting. I think we go... Ooh. Very interesting. The Miracle Crowd is like really strong too. Very interesting. Because I could pick a 10 mana cast that it could be a 10 game winning. I could go Whelps and then like clear this and get a 10 mana cast. But just the Miracle Crowd is like really strong too. Very strong options. Very strong. Is this more fun? I'm gonna go for the more fun option. But actually we should do this like this, right? Because now I'm gonna have like, I'm gonna play the cause and the 10 mana guy immediately. El Mayo, opponent said intriguing. Yeah, I think it was probably just because of how much time I took. El Mayo, my friends. And also Mayo from from Dabby. Oh, he actually got this. No way, dude.
I'm looking for a few good mercenaries.
Rush. Let's do Rush. Rush and copy, right? Greetings. How about that, chat? How about that? Jawohl, Lord Heartfresh!
Now,
Think with 36 months.
still enjoying the children's card game. And then there's me. What?
Thank you for the 3-year. 3-year sub, 3-year resub. Fuckers.
Put your faith in the light.
Oh boy. Do we have lethal? So I could trade Alexstrasza, then it's like, it's a bunch of damage, but don't think it's lethal yet. I'm still off. So I could use this to break the shield and then Brett this.
The sea floor be exalted. Will obey.
Bonk, bonk. So I'm gonna save this just in case we like end up doing the alignment. I could have played this for like tempo, but then I would have done it before the scales and stuff. Why not play alignment? Oh, he could play the hero card. I mean, I guess I could have alignment, but if he plays the hero, then like I don't want that to happen. Neptulon is not a class card. Okay, I believe that's no, we still one off. God damn it. Oh my god, still one off. Does this draw us anything that would deal with? Because I can't get through this. By hero, I could sort but what does the Malu give us? It gives us like scales, aquatic form. I guess I could hit aquatic form into starfish. Yeah, aquatic form into starfish. Or just moonlight into a starfish. The chances are very high.
This must be the way.
So we can do this and then we can scales. No, but it's 10 already, so yeah. Nice. Got there. Wow, both of the games were Kazakus wins. That was kind of unexpected. But it's really nice that it was like showing its power. Make sure to like and subscribe. Leave a comment if you guys want to see some more deck tech videos.